I remembered as I began to make an attempt to go to sleep, and all of a sudden I would see a flash somewhere, and before I could turn or get my eye on the flash, it was gone. Now, the first impression was, well, something just penetrated the inside of the spacecraft. And so I asked Neil and Michael, and Neil said, yeah, I saw about 100 of them.
For the crew, the flashes were far more worrying than the mystery UFO. In the vacuum of space, anything penetrating the spacecraft could spell disaster. On his return, Aldrin reported them to NASA.
The conclusion was that they're high Z particles, Z meaning a heavy particle at high velocity, that penetrate the spacecraft, penetrate the individual, and cause some potential damage to nerve cells and brain cells, but only over a long period of time, evidently.
Even today, scientists don't truly understand the long-term effects of Z particles on the human body. Apollo 11 flew on, constantly bombarded by particles.
Coming up on Destination Tomorrow, we'll travel to NASA Johnson Space Center to find out why radiation will be one of our major challenges as we prepare for missions to the Moon and to Mars. We'll also travel to Brookhaven National Laboratory to examine how researchers are studying the effects of radiation on human tissue. All this and more next on Destination Tomorrow.
Hello everyone, I'm Steele McGonigal.
And I'm Kara O'Brien. Welcome to this edition of Destination Tomorrow.
On this episode, we'll be focusing on how radiation will affect our efforts to reach destinations like the Moon and Mars.
In recent years, NASA researchers have been striving to meet the goal of sending astronaut crews to the Moon, Mars, and beyond. Although there are numerous technological and logistical hurdles to get over, one of the most daunting challenges facing us will be protecting astronauts from harmful radiation. Here on Earth and in low Earth orbit, radiation risks are somewhat mitigated due to the protection provided by our thick atmosphere and our magnetosphere. But outside the protection of Earth, the radiation in space could prove deadly if humans are not properly protected.
The skin on the crew cabin was very thin, and that was all done because of weight savings. Weight was a very critical item that always had to be considered in anything that you did.
If you really took your finger and poked hard at it, you could poke right through the outer skin of the spacecraft. It was about the thickness of 2 layers of aluminum foil. But it's the kind of thing that you were reasonably cautious that you didn't jab any pointed objects through.